Welcome to the Board and Barrel. Kinda. I'm your host, Kyle McCarley, and it's just me tonight. Hello everybody. This is a very silly place, little Danica. How's it going out there, chat? I see Marilyn Jutsu, Weeping Willow 66, Hangry Dino is the best. As always, you guys have the best names. Steel Neko, Rina Hayashi, A Fleece, Hannah Martin, hello everybody, hi. Oops, all Kyle. Yes, only one person to nerf. Or buff. You could buff. You don't have to nerf. Hi, so this is normally, hi Jazine, thank you so much for that sub. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sway Special Donut, welcome. Good to see you, first time chatter. Hello to my favorite final girl, 10 out of 10, no notes. Thank you so much, Danica. So, this is sort of kind of the Board and Barrel. Normally this is a Sunday night show where it's me and at least 3 of my friends. Sometimes there's 6 of us all together. And occasionally less than 4 of us, but most of the time it's a group of 4. Tonight I'm playing a single player game because we could not do a show on Sunday this weekend because I had a wedding to go to, and on a weeknight it is easier to fly solo than it is to get the other guys here. So off to the races. Tonight it is just me and I'm playing Final Girl. I'm gonna take it over to the table. Ooh. This is a spooky one, so I'm gonna... Ben Lepley is in the chat. Hello, Ben. Ben is the one who turned me on to this game. He said, I don't want to crash your solo sessions, but I want to come hang with you the next time you play Final Girl. I adore this game. I know you do. This is... I don't believe that this game... The feature that I'm playing tonight, I believe is a second season game. So, for those of you who are not familiar with Final Girl, you are so small at this table solo. I know, right? It's wild. I just decided to turn the nameplates off tonight, so it's just the bar and me, and here we go. So for those who are not familiar with Final Girl, this is a very unique system from Van Ryder Games. You gotta have the core box in order to play it, but you need more than just the core box. In addition to the core box, which will run you $20 from your friendly local game store, you have to have at least one feature box. And the reason that there's no lid on this box right now on either side is because the game board comes from the feature. The killer board is one side of that box, and the location board is the other side of this box. It's a completely modular system. They call it their feature film system. And it's modular because you can mix and match a different killer and a different location and a different Final Girl. You get to play with one Final Girl. You get 2 Final Girls come in each feature box. You get to pick which Final Girl you want to play with. You get to pick which killer you're trying to fight against, which map you are dealing with them on. So it's a totally modular system, and I believe when they first launched it, they had 5 games or 5 features available. They've done an entire second season since then, along with a couple of little expansion things that you can add in to mix things up on top of all of that modularity. So it's a very modular system. You got to spend $40 on it total, which is all I've spent so far. to be able to play it, because you need the $20 core box and a $20 feature to go with it. But you can, it's infinitely expandable because of the modularity. Are these tie-ins to horror movies or original characters? They are legally distinct, as Ben Lepley mentioned in the chat. Everything is not all of it is inspired directly, like one-to-one from a horror movie, but a lot of the features are like very clearly, oh, that's not Jason. Oh, that's not Michael Myers or whatever. There's one that's like not the Alien series. This one is the Intruders. Those are the killers that I'm facing. So I've got 3 killers to deal with instead of just 1. I feel like this is sort of kind of maybe based on The Strangers, if I'm remembering the title of that film correctly. Ben Lepley says, I do wonder if they'll ever do anything officially licensed. Yeah, yeah, I wonder. Danica says the Dead by Daylight school of popular horror. Yes, exactly. Before they started getting licenses. This epic music is too superhero-y. We gotta get some, I don't even know if you guys can hear it, but we gotta get something spoopy for a spoopy game. Where's my spoopy music? There we go. Right there. Okay. So that's a little bit about what this game is. Why don't we talk about how this game is played? So during the setup, I went ahead and I did the setup already, but this comes in the core box, this little board down here. This is my Final Girl board. Final Girl card came with the Intruders and Wingard Cottage. Those 2 boards are, like I mentioned, from the box. All of these little pieces, most of these little pieces come in the core box, that's why you gotta have it. There's also an entire deck of action cards that I have a tableau of action cards over on this side of the board, which we'll talk about in a little bit. I have a hand of 6 action cards that I get to start with. During the setup, I dealt myself a random setup card up here and set up the game board based off of that. There are 4 item cards that have been randomly dealt from a deck of items that came with the location to 3 different locations. So there's 4 different items in each of those 3 different locations. If I want to go looking for stuff that I can use to help me defeat these killers. Because I am facing the Intruders, I am up against 3 killers. They all start in the same location, but they will move independent of one another and attack independent of one another as well. Let's see, what other setup do I need to talk about what I've done already? I think that's pretty much it. The rest of it is all pretty self-explanatory as far as the setup goes. There's a deck of terror cards. Some of these cards come from the killer, some of these cards come from the location. So during your setup and teardown, you gotta separate them out when you tear it down and put it away, because if you want to mix and match, then you'll shuffle your killer terror cards with your location terror cards, and then deal out 10 of them to form your terror deck for the game. There are also 2, kind of hard to see here, these are cards right here. This one is the killer's finale card, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. And this one is their dark power card. And we'll talk about both of those later on. Right now they start face down on the game board. Eventually, most likely both of them will flip face up, and it'll be bad news for the Final Girl. I picked my Final Girl. I've played this game once. This entire whole feature I have played once. I used the other Final Girl that came with it, so I'm playing with a Final Girl I have not used before. I did manage to survive. In fact, I kind of kicked their asses when I played this the first time, so I'm excited to see how my luck changes tonight. Also, there is a deck of event cards that is based off of the location. those are all shuffled and set out. Because of the fact that I am using Wingard Cottage, there's special rules for each killer and location that you got to take a look at. And for the special rules for the Intruders, it's basically just talking about the fact that there's 3 killers instead of just 1. And they all have less health than a single killer would have. And you'll see how they move. That's pretty easy to follow. But as far as Wingard Cottage goes, what's special about this location is that there are craftable items all the way over on, I think, is it that button? Yeah, over in this corner, I've got 4 component items that I can search for instead of the stuff that I talked about earlier that's been dealt out. I can search for these components, and then once I get the correct components from these 4 plus stuff that could be in the regular item deck, I can craft one of these 4 randomly dealt crafted item cards to be used to deal some nasty stuff. So that's the basics of the setup. Oh, one more thing to talk about with setup, actually. I take that back. These black health tokens, the final girl gets 1, the killer gets 1, and since there's 3 killers, each killer gets 1. These all look the same on this side of the token, but on the other side, there is a random health value from 0 to 3. We'll talk about why that is important later. There are 9 of these tokens in the box, and I had to shuffle them all up and deal them out at random, and I have not looked at the other side of those tokens because I should not know what they think. So, that's the gist of the setup that has already been covered. Now, let's talk about the shape of the game. The game is played over a series of turns or rounds, is what I'm going to call them, because the final girl gets a turn, and then the killer gets a turn, and then there's some cleanup stuff, and then we go again. But the rule book refers to them as phases, which you can kind of see on that board right there. Let me see if I can. What is it? Is it this one? Nope. Nope. I thought I had a thing zoomed in on that. I guess not. Maybe it was this one? I guess I didn't bother to zoom in on that section. All right, well, we'll go to this. So, there's 5 different phases to each. Let me duck out of the way. 5 different phases to each turn or round. During the action phase, I get to play cards from my hand. Like I mentioned, I get these 6 cards to start with. I know that these 6 are my starters. Hannah Martin 16, thank you so much for that gifted subscription to Scenario. Appreciate you. You're one of a kind. Thank you. So, I know that these are my starter cards because they have a little 0 time cost down there in the bottom right. So I started with these 6 cards in my hand. During the action phase, I can choose to play action cards and then do whatever, resolve them accordingly. Now, I'm going to come over to the tableau with the camera feed. That's not it. I think it's this one. God, I need my key. There we go. That's better. You'll see on these action cards, most of them have a little rundown of like 3 or 4 icons here. That is because when I play an action card, I'm going to come back over here. When I play an action card, I have to roll, most of the time, I will have to roll some of these horror dice right here. I've got 6 of them. Most of the time, I'm not going to get to roll nearly that many. At the start of the game, the horror level is at 3, because that's what the Intruders game board says right there. Horror level is at 3 on this board, which means whenever I make a horror roll, my base roll amount is I get to roll 2 dice. I might be able to augment that with certain items or action cards or something where I can add dice to that or something. But my base level, to start the game, I get to roll 2 dice. If I can lower that horror level down to 1, I can roll 3, or even lower, I can roll 3. If it gets all the way up here, my base number of dice I roll is only 1. At the start of the game, I'm rolling 2 dice. When I roll these dice, let's come down here real quick. Let's say I'm playing this walk card. I roll these dice, and that was a really good roll. On a 5 or a 6, you've got a success. And you're looking for successes over here on the left side of the card. On a 1 or a 2, you got a fail. That's no bueno. That means I got no successes. On a 3 or a 4, I've got what the rulebook defines as a partial success. A partial success means it's a failure unless I opt to discard 2 cards from my hand. If I discard 2 cards from my hand, I can turn one of those partial successes into a success. Then it's an actual success, and it's not a failure. If I don't discard those 2 cards, this is meaningless. It might as well be that. Then, based off of the results of my roll and any partial successes that I decide to convert into successes, I get to resolve actions based off of what is on the action card that I'm playing. If I roll 2 fails on this particular action card, I've got 2 choices. I can either move up to 1 space and lose 1 health from my final girl, as well as 2 time. If you come up here and look at this board, I really gotta zoom in on that. Hold on just a second. I gotta get a zoom going on that board. That is important to have. Let's do that. Okay, and then give me this. Right there. Good. Now we can actually show you what I'm talking about. Awesome. Okay. So if that's what I'm resolving, is to move up to 1 space, I will have to lose 1 health, which means I lose one of these tokens. It goes away. And I lose 2 time right here. Or I could opt to not move at all and just pay the penalty of the 2 time and not lose that health. Those are my options on that total failure. If I roll 1 success, then I can move 1 space and I only lose 1 time to do it instead of 2. If I roll 2 successes, I can move up to 2 spaces, losing 1 time. And that is the gist of how that works. There's a whole bunch of iconography to go over here really quickly. I'm not going to go over every single card, but I'm going to look at all of the different iconography that is possible on these cards. Obviously, the hearts are your health. So if it's this kind of a heart that doesn't have a line through it, that means I can gain health. However, I cannot gain more health than my starting value. So, if you notice, my final girl starts with 6 health. That means 5 heart tokens plus that 1 black heart token, health token, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. That's what I get to start with. I cannot exceed that health value. So at this stage in the game, it would be completely pointless for me to take a rest action like that, because I cannot gain more health than my starting value. That's what that icon means, though, is you gain health, so you can regain health that you've lost. This icon right here, the hockey mask, means you increase the horror level, which we talked about a second ago. To increase the horror level, you simply advance the killer pawn, meeple, here, 1 space on the horror track. Nope, where is it? It's this one. I'll figure this out eventually. My damn thumbnails on my buttons aren't showing up. So that's that icon. The hourglass we talked about, the red hourglass with the arrow underneath it, and sometimes there will be a number next to it. If there's no number, it's simply 1 time. You lose 1 time. If there is a number, you lose that much time. A green hourglass means you get to gain that much time. And there is a note in the rulebook. The developers are aware that that's not how time functions, but it's kind of symbolic as to how well you are managing your time. That's the idea. Obviously, a heart with a line through it, that means you lose health. We talked about that already. The hockey mask with a line through it, that means you lower the horror level instead of raising it. And I think the only other iconography to talk about are these little comic book POW symbols. If you're in the same space as the killer, you can take an attack action with one of these types of cards, and you deal damage to the killer. In other words, remove that much health from the killer, depending on how many of those little POW symbols there are on whatever you're resolving. Also worth mentioning, some of these action cards, like the Close Call here, this is not played the same way as all of the other ones where you've got to roll dice to resolve stuff. This is in response to a roll. This one specifically, you get to re-roll dice. Either re-roll any one die at the cost of that Close Call card, or re-roll all your dice, but you also have to, in addition to discarding the card, you gotta lower your time by 2. These two cards here are, since they have a blue background, that indicates that they are reaction cards. I cannot play those during the action phase of the game. Those are played in response to what the killer is doing, essentially. That's the gist of that. That'll all make sense as we get going. So that's the action phase. I get to play as many cards as I have as I have in my hand that I want to play. However, and it's also worth mentioning that even if the time gets all the way down to 0 and I still want to play a card that might cost me some time, I can still do that. I can still take that action. If the time hits this red spot where it has this little stop sign with an X through it, or if I take an action that ends up resolving with that little stop sign, then my turn is done after I finish resolving whatever action I'm in. At that point, my turn is done. I can't do anything else if it hits this spot. If it's still here, I can still do something if I want. But if it goes down to there, I'm done. I may not want to spend all of my time, though, because after the action phase is the planning phase. During the planning phase, I get to go shopping. I mentioned that I start with these 6 cards, but you've also noticed, perhaps, that I have been showing off all of these action cards. When I get to the planning phase, I get to spend whatever time I didn't use during the action phase buying cards from the tableau. I can have as many as 10 cards in my hand, which is really hard to do, honestly, to get to that many cards. And I can spend time on whatever cards are here that I'm interested in buying. Now, what they recommend you do in the rule book, when you play cards, you put them face down on the table in front of you so that you don't mess up, because any cards that you get played will eventually make their way back to the tableau, but they don't make their way back to the tableau on the turn that you play them. So, you play them face down to the table in front of you. When you get to the planning phase, you do your shopping, and when the planning phase is done, when you're done shopping, you reset your time back up to 6, since that is the starting time value, and then you get to move all of the cards that you played during the action phase back to the tableau. If it's any of these cards that start in the tableau, you just put them back in their respective stack. Any of the starter cards with the 0 cost, you get to put all in one stack. And when you go shopping, you can always buy these 0 cost cards as long as you're not above your hand size limit of 10 cards. That's the planning phase. When the planning phase is complete, we move on to the killer phase. I'm gonna go up to, I think it's this one? Nope. Guessed wrong. Nope. There it is. Oh, and that's actually not even the shot that I thought it was. We'll go to this shot instead. That's great. Okay, so during the killer phase, the first thing we're going to do is reveal the topmost terror card. I am not revealing that one right now. I'm going to reveal one that has been removed from the game. We will then resolve all of the actions on this terror card. Oh, and hold on. I feel like I'm missing something. Something to do with the final card. I mean, the finale card. Right? All killers. Oh, that's right. Hold on. I'm close. I think I've got it. I think I know what I'm doing. During the killer phase. So, the first thing you do during the killer phase, this is the part that I messed up. First thing you do during the killer phase is you resolve the killer action as indicated on the finale card. What that iconography means, first off, that one is, that's the target. And that icon means that all killers, all three of the intruders are targeting either the final girl or a victim that is in the same space as them. If both the final girl and a victim or more victims are in the same space as the killer in question, then they target the final girl, I believe. Yes? Maybe? I feel like that's explained somewhere, but I'm not finding it. I know this, I swear. Target is whoever is closest. Oh, right, first tiebreaker is who's closest. But I think if they're both close, then I think it's the final girl. I'm not positive, though. It may be up to you. Danica, this is my favorite part of the stream. Thank you so much. Okay, so first thing you do, you resolve that. That is the target. So that is telling you that the killers are going to deal damage. 1 damage, that's what that knife means. Killers deal 1 damage to the closest final girl or victim. But there's no movement happening on this icon. So that means they gotta be in the same space as the killer in order for them to take any damage. That icon is the attack icon. The boot is the movement icon. So, we'll resolve this first, then we reveal the terror card and we resolve that. The terror card in this instance, so there's the other icons to talk about. The first thing you do is targeting the closest final girl or victim, the active killer. This is a special thing for the intruders since there are 3 killers. We take a look over at the intruders board. Whichever killer has this token at this point, that is the active killer. So, looking at that terror card, that's not it. Looking at that terror card, our active killer, the red one right now, will target either the final girl or the victim, or the closest victim, whichever is closest. On a tie for victims who are closest, it's whichever space has the most victims, and I think you get to determine as the player what the tiebreaker is after that. So, closest final girl or victim, they move towards. Movement is based off of the bloodlust track that is on the intruder board. Over here, bloodlust is tracked right here. This little track right here. At the start, anytime you see a movement icon, they move 1 space. Anytime you see an attack icon, they deal 1 damage. But as this advances, that gets worse. They move further, they move faster or further. They deal more damage every time they attack. So it's bad news. I'm just gonna move this card over here where we can see it all at the same time. So we'll resolve things. So we target the closest victim or final girl, we move 1 space, we attack, and then this icon means we move the active killer token down 1 space. Oh, sorry, no it doesn't. That's the next icon. This icon just means after we've resolved that, then we move on to resolving this row. This says we move the active killer token up 1 space. That's special iconography for this set of killers. We targeting the final girl now. That's what that icon means. This killer on the board will move 1 space and then deal 1 damage to the final girl. Then we move on to this step. It says we move that up to the next killer. That killer then targets the closest victim and moves 1 space. That would be the resolution of that particular tarot card. I'm glad that that's not in our deck. There's probably worse stuff in the deck, but that was pretty bad. I don't like it. Like I said, the tarot deck is comprised of cards from both the killer and the location. So if it's stuff from the location, it's not going to activate all 3 killers. Okay. Anytime a victim is killed. Oh, and that's something I didn't talk about. Damage dealing. Obviously, if they're dealing damage to the final girl, that's going to take away from my health. Right here. If I take 1 damage, I lose 1 health token. It goes away. If I get down to just this health token, I will reveal it, and depending on what icon is on the other side of that token, either in a true classic horror movie fashion, I get back up, I get a second wind, and I get to keep going with 1 to 3 health, depending on what's on the other side of this token. Or I'm dead. Because it could be blank. Could be blank, it could have 1 heart, it could have 2 hearts, it could have 3 hearts. Depending on what's on the other side of it, I will add tokens back to my board, and I'll replace that white, or that black token with a white one that just looks like this. Once the white token comes off the board, you're dead for sure. When the killer deals damage to the final girl, you simply remove that much health from the final girl's board. If the killer deals any damage to a victim, victims only have 1 health. So it doesn't matter how much damage the killer is doing, that victim is dead. Whenever a victim dies, you take them off the board, you move them to a little pile right underneath this little dead section, and it says right there, every time a victim dies, it's got that little blood spatter. That means that every time a victim dies, you advance the bloodlust 1 space up the bloodlust track. So that's how that's gonna gain momentum and stuff. And it's bad news, which is why, as final girl, you want to rescue victims, which I didn't talk about. During the action phase, when you're moving, anytime you resolve an action that lets you move, if you are in the same space as a victim, which right now I'm not, I started up in this space, but if, let's say I was in, this space right here. If you're in the same space as a victim, and you want to move, you can take up to 2 victims with you. And I do believe you can pick them up on the way. So if you want to move 2 spaces from here, I could go, I'm going to move here, and then I'm going to take both of these victims with me. I believe you can do that. I believe you can pick them up along the way. If you happen to be in the same space as a victim, and that space has an exit icon on it, then you can choose to rescue that victim. Get them out of there. Anytime you rescue a victim, I'm not going to demonstrate with that one because I'll forget to put it back. I'm going to demonstrate with this one. Anytime you rescue a victim, you can put that victim on your final girl card on one of these rescued victim spaces, any one you choose, and immediately gain whatever the reward is there. which is pretty nice. If you get all 6 of these spaces filled, then you get to flip this card over and unlock the final girl's special ability. Her ultimate ability, which is real good. So, you want to try and do that if you can. Also, something else I didn't mention over on the location board. There are some spaces that have a little wrench icon on them. That means if you're on one of those spaces, you can take the search action. This search action card is not available if you are not on one of those spaces. Because if you're, let's say you're in the garage and you take the search action, it says over there, take the top item card of your space, or take the top 2 item cards of your space and choose one, place the other on top face up or underneath face down. In any case, whenever you're resolving a search action like that, you've got to be in one of those spaces that has that wrench, because you then look up at the 3 item piles that are up at the top of the board. Whichever one corresponds to your space, that's the item deck that you're pulling from. I got really lucky on the item card draw here and happened to pull out 2 knives. I feel like that's great for me. But anyway, okay. That's stuff that I missed earlier, was search and rescue, both. Let's see, I was talking about the killers, how they raise their bloodlust, damage, resolution, and all of that stuff. Here's another thing to talk about. When the bloodlust reaches this level right here, it says dark power. That means we reveal this card, and that's going to give the killer a new ability that is bad news for me. I'd show you an example, but it would give me information, because there's only, I think, 3 or 4 possible dark powers, and only 3 possible finale cards. So it would give me information to reveal that right now. I'm not going to do that. I will reveal that when we get to it, because we will get to it during the game. So that's what happens when you get to that on the Bloodlust track. I think I've talked all about the killer phase. After the killer phase is done, we move on to the panic phase. The panic phase only happens if a victim died this round. But if they did, if any victims died, 1 or more victims died, then any victims that are in the same space as the killer, or killers in this instance, because these guys could end up all over the map. Any victims that are in a space with a killer will panic if and only if a victim has died this round. What that means is for each one of those victims, you're going to roll the die, one of the dice, and move them through the corresponding passageway. So I'd move through the 6 there. If you roll a number, this space is a bad example, but let's say it's like this space here, and I rolled, no, not that space, because that's 1 through 3 or 4 through 6. How about, well, I know that there's some of them somewhere. Maybe not. God, I swore there was one somewhere. Anyway, if you roll a number that is not a passageway on that space, then the victim just stays put. And that's the panic phase. There will be occasions where victims will panic not during the panic phase, and that'll be pretty self-explanatory when it happens. During the panic phase, they only panic if they are in the same space as the killer, and the killer killed at least 1 victim that round. After the panic phase, we move on to the upkeep phase. During the upkeep phase, the first thing you do is you check to see if First thing you do during the upkeep phase is you check to see if the terror deck has been depleted. If all of these cards are now face up, over here. Then we will reveal the finale card, which will give the killers a new thing to resolve every round that is significantly worse than this plus a terror card. It's bad. You don't want it. The last thing that you get to do during the upkeep phase, if you so choose, you can move items from your hands to your backpack and vice versa. I didn't talk about that. When you get items, some items will have a hand icon on them. They might even have 2 hand icons on them. If it's got a hand icon, that means you can only use that item if it is in one of your 2 hands. You can get 2 hand icons next to this space on your board. Any more than that, you gotta start putting stuff in your backpack. Some items don't have a hand icon. That means those can be used directly from your backpack. You don't have to equip them up here first. You can use those without a hand icon directly from your backpack. If it's got a hand icon, it's gotta be in your hand for you to use it. Anytime you pick up an item, you can immediately choose to equip it and therefore unequip something that you're replacing it with. Otherwise, you can only move stuff between your hands and your backpack during the upkeep phase. Only time you can do that. After the upkeep phase is done, you start a new round with a new action phase, and you keep going until either the final girl is dead and you lose, or the killer, or in this case, all killers, are dead as well. Oh, and one last thing I forgot to mention about those little special health tokens here. The killers also have those, by the way. Each one of the killers for the intruders has one of those. If you get either the killer, well, if you get a health bar down to where it is just that token, that little heart that's on that token also says +1 die. That means you get to roll 1 additional die during horror rolls if that's all that's left on a life bar. One of the special rules for this killer, however, or these killers, I should say, is you only get 1 additional die no matter how many of these killers are down to their last health, just that health token. If both the killer and the final girl are on that last health token, you get both additional dice. 1 for the final girl, 1 for the killer. With this particular killer, with these killers, even though they've all got their own life bar, you get 1 down to just that token, you get that 1 extra die. You get 2 of them down to just that 1 token, you still only get the 1 extra die. I believe I have covered the gist of how this game is played. It took me way too long to go through all of that. But let's go ahead and get started. The very first thing that happens before we resolve anything is, or before I get to start taking any actions, is we flip the first event card up here. That's not it. That's not it. There it is. We'll flip the first event card and we will resolve it. After this point, we will not have to resolve any of these event cards unless a terror card tells us to. We're not doing tabletop after dark. Why is that up there? I'll fix that later, or I won't. I'm probably not going to bother with it tonight. Anyway, so this event card says, Loser Boyfriend. The victim furthest from you is your boyfriend, who has been secretly helping the killer. The boyfriend cannot be targeted or killed by enemies, but you may attack and kill him. If you kill the boyfriend, reduce the horror level by 3 and do not increase bloodlust. If the boyfriend leaves play, discard this card. Okay, so I gotta find my special orange victim meeple here. Yeah, boys do suck, Danica. So the victim furthest from me, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got to be one of those. We're going to go with this guy. That's the boyfriend. He sucks. So I want him to die because he's helping the killers. And the killers don't need help. There's 3 of them. I need to turn on some air conditioning, gang. 1 second. All right. Oh! By the by, if anybody watching tonight is new to the Board and Barrel, you may have noticed over on the left-hand side of your screen, there's a meter. At the top of it, it says buff. At the bottom of it, it says nerf. And in the middle, actually not in the middle, because somebody already moved it with a subscription message, there's a pair of beer mugs. Neil, the Tavern Bot, is going to spam the chat right now for how you guys can move those beer mugs up or down that meter, depending on how you feel. Using your Meeple monies, which are our Twitch channel points here at B&B Tabletop, or your Stream Elements cash donations, your bits, your resubscribe messages, however you want to do it. And every time you do anything to support this channel in any way, starting right now, I gotta actually open it up. Anytime you do anything to support this channel in any way, Neil is going to pour a little bit of additional beer into the big beer mug that just showed up underneath that meter. And once that beer mug is completely full of beer, we are going to roll our special custom 3D printed Buff and Nerf dice, which actually there's no reason for the special custom part of it because it's just me tonight. Normally, with more players, we'd be rolling a name die to determine who gets the buff or the nerf. But in a single-player game, it's just going to be me every time. We'll roll these dice down that little dice tower, and then we will resolve a special buff or nerf that will help or hinder me, in this case. And just as an example of what that die roll could mean, based on where those mugs are right now, you guys are helping me out a lot. I really appreciate it. This is an example of what might be in store for me. The 2 victims closest to the active killer panic. Just as an example, that didn't happen. That's not happening right now, but it could happen. The number on the die determines what buff or nerf is happening. I need to fix the focus on that shot because it hated me. All right. Now we can finally begin the game. Let's get going. All right. So, I got me 6 action cards. I have walk, focus, weak attack, focus, and short rest. Well, short rest does me no good. I have not taken any damage. Weak attack does me no good because I'm nowhere near any killers at the moment. Oh, and I'm supposed to start up here. Ha ha! I already started cheating. I start there. Okay. Ooh, which means I did the boyfriend wrong. Hold on. Boyfriend's got to be furthest from me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably the space. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's definitely this guy. That's the boyfriend. My bad. Okay. Now I've done it right. Let's go for a walk. I'm rolling 2 dice. I got 1 success and 1 partial success. I think I'm just going to take the 1 success because I don't want to have to discard cards. So, I'm going to move 1 space right there at the cost of 1 time. And then I discard that card. Wait a second. Is that what I want to do? I don't have a search action yet. You know what? I'm gonna do that, yeah. I'm gonna do that. I am going to go ahead and end my action phase right there. And move on to planning. I have 5 time to spend on my shopping. I am gonna buy a search for 2 time. That leaves me with 3. I'm gonna buy a guard for 2 time. That leaves me with 1. I'm gonna spend that last one on a close call. This then goes here. This goes back to 6. It is now the killer phase. Killers would all deal damage to the closest, either final girl or victim right now, if they were on a space with such, but they are not. So instead, we are going to resolve our first terror card. Place 2 new victims on the porch, right next to the boyfriend, who's being a dick. My loser boyfriend. Then increase the horror level by 1. I don't like that. And then we resolve a new event card. I'm gonna move the loser boyfriend over here, just so we don't lose track of him. New event! That's not it. It's this one. Take the item cards set aside during setup. Reveal 1 at a time until either a weapon is revealed and take this item, or until there are no more of the set aside item cards to reveal. That is awesome. I'm getting a free weapon. Ooh. That's not a weapon. That's a first aid kit. That is not a weapon. That's a blueprint. Hey, there we go. An 1/8 inch chisel. Oh wait, yeah, that's a weapon. That's what that little icon means. Oh, and that icon up at the top right there, that's the range. That means I have to be in the same space as the killer in order to use this weapon. If it's got a 1 on it, that means I have to be 1 space away in order to use it. So like a gun or something. But not the nail gun, because the nail gun says 0 to 1, so I could be on the same space as the weapon for that. That's awesome. I just got a free weapon. That kind of makes the turn that I just took useless, but whatever. Because I was going up there to go search for a knife in the shed. Heyo! You guys have been very rude. You have nerfed me already. We're into the upkeep phase we're into the panic phase, but nobody's panicking. Then we move to the upkeep phase. There's nothing to upkeep. We're moving on to another round. And as such, I'm gonna roll for a nerf. Thanks, guys. Nerf number 8. Move the active killer 2 spaces toward Kyle. Don't love that. Don't love that at all. Active killer right now is the red one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's... Yeah, that's definitely closest. 2 spaces toward me. Well, maybe the joke's on you. Maybe I want that killer to move toward me, because I got a weapon now, so I can stab her in the eye with that chisel. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I got a free item, and I kind of was planning on searching this turn to get a knife. Oh, the chisel's only gonna work for a little bit. It says it deals 1 damage, but I roll 1 die after each use, and on a 1 through 4, the chisel gets discarded. So maybe I do still want to pick up that knife. So I'm going to take a search action on my turn. Bloop. Let's roll those dice. Still got 2 dice. That is 1 success. I get to take the top item card at my space if I want to do that. I think I do, because I know that the top item at the shed is a knife. Now, one other thing I didn't mention here. In this instance, since I'm just taking the top item card at my space, I take this, I leave that next item card face down. I don't get to see what that is until I search again and do some stuff. If I were to turn that partial success I rolled into a full success, then I would get to resolve that top option, which is to take the top 2 item cards, look at them, choose one to keep, and then I could place the other one face up on the top or face down on the bottom. I'm not going to do that. I'm happy with this knife, so I'm going to keep it. And that's all I'm going to do right there. That did cost me 1 time, so I'm at 5 time. I also need to check something really quick about attacking with weapons. When I played this the first time, I did not use weapons. I just punched the killers to death a whole lot. So I need to see how weapons work exactly. When attacking, you must be in the same space as the killer unless you have an item or ability that allows you to attack from range. To attack, play an action card that allows you to inflict damage, make a horror roll, then apply the effects based on the dice results. If you have a weapon that modifies damage and the result of the action card produced 1 or more damage, modify the damage amount accordingly. For more on items, see page 25. Okay. Is there anything about weapons? Unless otherwise indicated, weapons modify attacks made with action cards. When you resolve an action card and inflict 1 or more damage, you may add the weapon's damage modifier to inflict additional damage. Weapons may also modify the retaliate reaction card. Sweet. So, many items that must be held in your hands are weapons. On the left-hand side of the item card is the range and damage modifier. When you have a different weapon in each of your hands, you must choose one to use when resolving an attack. Okay. Good to know. So that chisel that I got from the event is effectively meaningless at this point. Because I got a better weapon now. Okay, good to know. Bye, Danica. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, so it's still my turn. I've still got 5 time. I really want to buy a nice big something, but I think I might want to move first. Especially because that killer's gonna lay the smackdown on those victims that she's now sharing a space with. So I think I'm gonna walk. Take my next walk action. Roll 2 dice. Come on, no whammies. 1 whammy, but the other one was a success, and that's not enough, but it's something. It's going to cost me 1 time to move that 1 space. It goes into my face down discard pile. Oh, poopy doops. I think that's going to be where I end my turn, because I want to have 4 time to shop with during planning. Alright, moving on to planning. I have 4 time. I'm going to go buy a Furious Strike with all of that 4 time. I'm also going to pick up that walk card from last round. That's all my time down to 0. That then goes back up to 6, and these spent cards go back to the tableau. Moving on to the killer phase. First off, we resolve. We resolve that killer action. All killers are going to deal damage if they are in a space. Yeah, and that victim, one of those victims, is dead instantaneously. That blows, and horror level goes up 2 notches. Ooh, I hate it. I hate it. You guys did that. That killer was minding its own business down there, and you just made this blood is on your hands, chat. You did this. I hope you're proud. I hope you're happy. All right, now we're going to resolve a terror card. There's blood everywhere. We're going to move the active killer token down to the gray killer. And we're going to target the closest victim or final girl. Well, closest to the gray on a tie would be this cluster over here at the porch. They're going to move 1 space and then deal 1 damage. That is another victim dead. Poop! On that, now they're going to start moving 2 spaces at a time. I don't like it. I don't like what you've done to me, chat. That one wasn't even on you. Oh, and the horror level's going up by 1. Great. It's maxed out. If it goes any further, bloodlust goes up instead. Shit. I am already hating everything. Panic phase. Victim was killed. All victims in the killer's spaces are going to move. Are going to panic. I do think the boyfriend panics because he still counts as a victim. He just can't be targeted or killed by enemies. But he's still going to panic. All right, we're going to start with this one up at the lakefront. Moves to the 5. That's to me. Perfect. That's what I want, is for you to get away from that killer. Then we're going to move the boyfriend 5. That would be up here. And then this one 3. That's over here. That victim does not automatically escape, even though it's on an escape space. The final girl has to be on that space as well in order to rescue that victim. So, not that helpful for me. Okay, now we move into the upkeep phase. There's no upkeep to be done, so we're moving into a new action phase. All right, the bad boyfriend is played by Diva. Why? Why Diva? Diva's so sweet. She would never. Okay. Let's see. What am I gonna do here? I feel like I need to focus. I feel like that is a must right now. Coming down here. I've got to lower that horror level. Oh, I only get to roll 1 die. Fun. That's fun, isn't it? Isn't there an action card somewhere that lets me roll additional dice? Yeah, planning. Oh, it costs 4 time. I am a victim of my own actions. Neil keeps telling us she's the guest tonight. Why? I turned that off. Didn't I? Let me go make sure that's actually off. Oh, I didn't turn that off. Now it's off. Wow, look at the top of that head. Oh, this top of my head right here? Oh, balls. Okay. I only get to roll 1 die for this focus. Come on, big money, big money, big money. Go! Okay, well, it's better than nothing. I could do a close call on that, but I think that's the wrong play. I'm going to discard my weak attack and my short rest to make that a success. I get to lower the horror level by 1, thank goodness. I also lose a time, though. Good, now I can roll 2 dice again. Balls! I would love to get that horror level. I think I'm going to focus again. Rolling 2 dice. Here we go. Big money, big money. Give me 2 6s here. Come on. Come on now. That is not what I wanted at all. Crap. I have the choice between losing 2 time or discarding 2 cards that I really need. I need all of these. Oh, balls. Balls to you, I say. I think I'm just gonna eat that 2 time. Damn it! That sucks. Okay. Now I'm gonna walk. Rolling 2. Oh no! 2 fails. You know what? Close call. I'm gonna re-roll both of those dice for 2 time. So I'm down to 1 time now. No! You're kidding me! Oh, shit! That is bad. That's gonna cost me all my remaining time no matter what I do. Well, then I'm gonna stay put and eat my last time, and wow, what a shit turn that was. I have nothing to shop with, so planning... oh, I do get to buy that walk card that's in the tableau, because it's free, but I don't get to buy anything else because I have nothing to shop with. That was just atrocious. Oh, great. Great, great, great. Love this for me. Okay, moving on to our next killer phase. First off, that's got to go back up to 6. And I've already reloaded the tableau. Great. Planning phase done. Killer phase. Resolve killer action. They're not in the same space as any victims. So, now we reveal a tarot card. Alright. Gray Killer is the current active killer. Is going to target the closest. I believe that would be heading into the foyer, because there's a bigger group there. Move up to 2 spaces, and then attack. That kills that victim. Crap. Then we move on to the next one. Okay, this is good. This is good for me. Red is now the active killer. Comes to the closest. That would be me. Now this is where I need to find out who gets targeted, me or the victim. Choose the group that has the most victims. Okay, hold on. Always target the closest option. If there's a tie... Oh, game ambiguity on page 31. This is what I needed to look at. Final Girl is a game system that is massive in scope, with card interactions and combinations that might as well be considered infinite in number. As such, it can happen from time to time that something may not be covered in the rules. There's a timing question, strange card interaction, a tie that cannot be adequately resolved, or something else that causes you uncertainty when playing. In these cases, apply one of the following rules. Number 1, the rule of infinite evil. Resolve it in such a way that results in the worst outcome for you. Rule number 2, the rule of abject realism. Resolve it in the way that results in the most realistic or thematic outcome. Or rule number 3, the rule of never-ending hilarity. Resolve it in the way that results in the funniest outcome. We recommend choosing one of these rules before you play and resolving any ambiguities in that manner. Alright. I'm going to put it to a poll for you guys. I already see a message from Weeping Willow. I don't need to hear the other options. I already vote for option 1. What's our ambiguity rule? Abject... What is it? Hold on. The options were... infinite evil... abject realism, or never-ending hilarity. You may vote now. 1 minute on the clock on that poll. We got 1 vote for infinite evil. Keep them coming while I munch. Got 2 for never-ending hilarity. Never-ending hilarity, starting to pull away. All right. I may have another poll after this for us to decide what's funnier here. The final girl is not a victim on tiebreakers. Good to know. Looks like never-ending hilarity has it. Alright, so what's funnier? If he hits me or if he hits the victim? Probably if he hits me, right? That's funnier? I don't know. What do you think, chat? Hit me with suggestions. First person who says something to the effect of hitting the final girl or hitting the victim. What's funnier? Hitting you would be funnier, but that's just me. Alright, so he's hitting me. He's gonna deal 1 damage to me, but first, I'm gonna play my guard card. I'm rolling 2 dice. That is bad. Oh, I get to reduce the damage by 1. Great, it doesn't even matter. Whew, that was close. I don't take any damage. Thank goodness. Okay. All that polling for nothing? No, we needed to decide that for ambiguity going forward. It's fine. Relax. That is the killer phase. No victims were killed, so there's no panic phase. Upkeep phase, I don't think there's anything to upkeep, so we're moving on to the next action phase. I have, count them, 2 cards in my hand. So there's not a whole lot I can do. But the first thing that I am going to do is a furious strike. A furious strike. I'm rolling 2 dice. I'm gonna smack this bitch. I'm using my knife to do it. God damn it, I'm not doing anything. I don't have the cards to discard to turn that into a success. I'm screwed. This was a dumb play. I lose 1 health. Horror level goes up 1. And I have to stop taking any actions. Great. Love that for me. We're moving on to planning. I have 6 time to shop with, so that's something. Why is everything out of focus? I had this all set before the show. This is not going well, for those who are curious. Whether or not I'm feeling good about the way that this is going. I'm gonna put a prediction up, actually, on how things play out. Let's see. I'm gonna go with killers all die. 1 killer dies. 1 killer plus Kyle die. 2 killers plus Kyle die. Or just Kyle dies. That's how those are your 4 choices on this prediction. Okay. Haha, you see? Even though you're rooting against me, you still got 3 possible ways for me to lose in that prediction. So, what do you think? Okay. Planning phase. 6 whopping points. I think, much as I would love to spend all 6 of my time on that critical blow, I don't think that's smart. I think instead I'm going to spend 4 of my time on planning and 2 of my time on guard. And then I'm going to take back all of these starter cards. That's my time. These go back to the tableau. And we move on to the killer phase. This is so bad. This is going so much worse for me than last game. All killers attack closest target if they're in the same space as a target. Only one that is the red. Red is going to hit me. We decided that is funnier. Red's gonna hit me. I'm gonna guard it. It's only going to deal 1 damage, and even if I roll a fail on this guard, it still reduces by 1. I did roll a fail, but it reduces by 1. There goes my guard card. Glad I bought that. All right, let's resolve our terror card. Oh, good. The horror level goes up. That means bloodlust goes up because I don't have room for the horror level to go up. And at this level, horror level goes up. And now the dark power is revealed. Oh my god. No remorse. Roll a die at the start of each upkeep phase. If the result is greater than the number of killers, increase the bloodlust. That is going to be maxed out in no time flat. Fuck. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, this moves down 1. And this guy, targeting the nearest victim, moves and attacks, which is going to increase the bloodlust, which is going to increase the horror, which will instead increase the bloodlust. This is going so well. My God. Oh, it's spiraling so far out of hand right now. Okay, that's the killer phase. Moving on to the panic phase, the victim that is in the space with me is gonna panic. We'll start with that. Through space number 6, they're gonna go hide in the shed. Then we're gonna move this guy. 1. Oh, there is no 1. He's so panicked, he's not moving. How about this guy? Also so panicked, he's not moving. Great. Love that for me. Cool, 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 cool. Ah, shit. Okay. Upkeep phase. Roll a die at the start of each upkeep phase. If the result's greater than the number of killers, bloodlust goes up. That is less than the number of killers, so I'm good. Okay. I need to beat this son of a bitch senseless. And I don't think I have the means, really. No, you know what? I'm gonna do planning. I need this right now. I need this to be a success so badly. Fuck. Not even a partial. Ugh! Alright, I get 1 extra die on my next horror roll, but horror level's going up by 1 and I'm losing 2 time. And since the horror level can't go up, bloodlust is going up instead. This is, I cannot recover. I'm so screwed. Oh, that's supposed to be up here. No, it's not. I spent that turn. Okay, there. All right. Great. I'm gonna focus. Roll 1 extra die. Shit. The best I can do is to discard 2. And I don't wanna discard any of these. Alright, I'm gonna... God, I really wanna hit this fucker. I'm gonna discard my 2 walk cards. I'm just gonna stay here. Fuck it. Fuck it. Time goes down by 1, horror level goes down by 1. Now I can actually roll 2 dice normally to focus again. That's a success. That's a partial. But I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna keep these 2 cards rather than burn them to get extra time. Actually, no, you know what? I am gonna burn them. I'm gonna discard those 2 cards to turn that into a full success, decrease the horror level by 1, gain 2 time, and that will be the end of my action phase. I have 5 to shop with. 5 time. No cards in my hand. No starter cards to pick back up. 5 time to shop with. I would like to purchase Retaliate and close call. And then these all make their way back to the tableau. And we move on to the killer phase. Thanks for the buff, Steel Neko. Are you realizing just how screwed I am? This thing just went off the rails real fast. All right, time goes back up to 6. And killer phase. First off, pink is going to smack me because, oh, well, actually, gray is going to smack yellow right there. Bloodlust is going to go up. Horror level is going to go up by 2. Fuck! Oh, shit. That is so bad. Oh, so bad. Oh, so bad. Great. Hey, I'm going to roll for that buff right now because I need it. Buff number 1. I don't think that's going to help that much. I start the next round with +1 time. Alright. I don't hate it. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Hey. Okay. So gray did their attack. Black still still isn't moving. Red is gonna smack me. Yeah, that was the funnier order of events there. Red is going to, and yeah, we would go gray first anyway, because it starts with the active killer and then goes down. Okay, so red is attacking me, but I am for 3 damage right now. This is not going to last long. This game is ending very soon. 3 damage coming at me, but I'm going to retaliate. I only get to roll 1 die. And I only have 1 card in my hand. It is a close call. So basically I get to roll this 1 die twice, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna burn it. Damn it! Nothing happens, I take 3 damage. Owie. I may not survive to the start of the next round. I have dealt no damage to them. I cannot believe how badly this is going. Alright. So, we haven't even revealed a friggin' terror card yet this round. Here we go. Place the active killer in your space. They target the final girl, deal 3 damage. That will knock me out. Let's reveal this. I believe that happens immediately. Let me double check. Because there's still leftover damage to deal to me. Oh, where is it? Where is the stuff with those tokens? Where is it? Come on now. There it is. Okay. Whenever either of them takes damage, normal health markers are removed equal to the amount of damage. When no normal health markers are left and there remains damage to be applied, the final black health token is revealed. Okay, that's what I thought. Let's just zoom in on this. Let's get a real good look at what this token is. With the luck that I've had this game, I am betting that is blank. and this game is over already. That's my bet. Let's find out. What do I win? Not the game of Final Girl. That's what I don't win. I lost horribly. I am dead. I did not save a single victim. I did not deal a single point of damage to one of the killers. I got just demolished. This is astounding to me because I played this game once from the comfort of my living room the other night, and it felt so easy that I double checked and I was like, did I do something wrong? Like I went back and watched a rules how to play video from Rodney Smith. Shout out to Watch It Played YouTube channel that you should definitely check out if you're a board game fan. Went and watched his video on how to play this game after I played it the first time because I was like, that was way too easy. I thought this game was going to be harder. Went and watched that how-to and I was like, no, I did everything right. I didn't cheat in any way. And tonight, oh my God, I got absolutely demolished. Which is something that I when I was talking to Dustin about this game after I played it the first time and went, I was surprised at how easy it was. He was, because I was like, because I've heard it's really hard, and he was like, I've heard it's really swingy, which, yeah, I would agree with that sentiment. Holy smokes, this swung wildly in the other direction from my other experience playing this game. Not even close. Not even a glimmer of a chance at the bloodlust didn't even get to the top of the meter before I died. We didn't get to the finale card. We didn't get halfway through the terror deck, did we? We got exactly halfway through the terror deck. That was brutal how hard that game was. Wow. Okay, so let me give thoughts on Final Girl now that we're at the end of this game. It's only 6:30 actually. We may play this again. You know what? Never mind. I'll give thoughts after another round. Let's play one more time. I don't even have to redo any of this. This can all stay exactly where it is because I didn't touch any of that. We're gonna reset. We're gonna play this again. I am gonna resolve that prediction though, because some of you earned some meeple monies from that. Nope. Nobody earned meeple monies from that. No, you guys had more faith in me than I deserved. Wow. Just incredible. Just truly incredible. I'm going to keep the same Final Girl. I'm going to do a fresh setup here. I'm going to leave all of their tokens the same. I don't know what any of them are. All I know is that mine was blank, but I've got a chance at something new here. So I'm just going to give myself a new token. We'll go with that one. For all I know, it's the same one. Anybody who's good at 3-card Monty might have been able to figure it out, but I fooled myself into not knowing which token I was, so... Let's give me my hearts back. Whew! Alright. I gotta deal out a new... Finale card and a new Dark Power card. Although possibly the same. In fact, I might as well leave the Finale card there because I don't know what it is. So we'll just deal out a new Dark Power card. Could be the same, could be different. We'll find out when we get there. We'll go with this one. And then I gotta redeal the terror cards. Ugh. Shuffle all of these together. I also got to reset my starting hand and everything. Oh, I got to shuffle those event cards. Loser boyfriend is gone. I didn't even hit my loser boyfriend once. God, that was just bad. We all thought you'd take at least one killer out. Honestly, I did too. I really thought that that was going to go better than it did. 1, 2, oh crap, I lost count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 terror cards. Those all get set aside. I'm going to leave all of the crafting stuff the way it is because I didn't even look at it. I am going to redeal our item cards. Man, I thought I got so lucky with that knife coming out. And I just, the thing is that the horror meter just got out of hand so fast that I just didn't have the dice. When you're only rolling, honestly, when you're only rolling 2 dice, it's rough. You get down to rolling only 1 die on all of your skill check, your horror rolls, you're just screwed, man. Just absolutely screwed. Okay, shuffling the items. I also need to pull out a fresh setup card. This goes back here, this goes back here. These all come back to my hand. Alright, dealing out 4 fresh item cards to each stack. Ooh, a first aid kit could be good. A wooden bat could be great. Especially because there's a nail bat. Ooh. Fireplace poker wouldn't suck. That nail bat deals 2 damage. I think I'm going to be working on that. Okay. Let's shuffle these event cards. They all stay in the deck, but they don't stay in the same order. Maybe this will be a lucky game. Maybe. Maybe. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's luckier than it. Honestly, it can't be much worse than the last game was. I'm even going to start this game with 7 time because you guys gave me a buff in that last game and I didn't get to use it. So I'm going to start this one with 1 extra time. Alright, there's our event cards. Let's shuffle our setup cards here. Could be the same one. Could be something different. We're about to find out. Let's go with this one. It's different. If I zoom in on that, do you see the setup card still? No, because I zoomed in too far. I'll zoom out a little so you can keep me honest. Alright. On that setup card, the K icon is where all of the killers start. The final girl icon is where the final girl starts. And then the numbers are how many victims start in each of those spaces. That stays the same. That guy goes over there. That one goes there. This one is off the board. And wow, that's a lot less victims on the board. Already feeling luckier, honestly. Because I feel like there were way more victims to start with last game. We did have an event that added 2, but still. I had as many victims on the board at the end of the last game as I'm starting with during this game. And I think like 5 or 6 victims died during that game. Okay, I think I'm done with setup. I think we're ready to rock and roll on our next game here. So, let's begin. Action phase. I'm starting with 7 time, thanks to the buff you guys gave me at the end of the last game. Damn, that wooden bat is in the shed. Costs 1 time to pick up any of those crafting components. Okay. I gotta get up to the shed. I think my plan is to go for that wooden bat, a box of nails, and then craft a nail bat. Because that's +2 damage anytime I deal damage to them. That feels like it's well worth it. I do, though, need to get myself some defense because I took damage really fast last game, and I need to be a little bit more mindful of my victims. I let way too many victims die last game. Oh no, I'm sorry. I pick stuff up in specific places. That's why there's those icons on the board. That's where I pick up the wood. That's where I pick up the rope. That's the discarded tools. Oh, that's also wood. Hey, yeah, the nails are in the shed. Perfect. Okay, so I want to make my way to the shed. That is my plan. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away. That's so far. Could also go the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That's a lot further. No, I'm going to start making my way up that way. That's my plan. All right. Here we go. I'm walking. Going for a walk. Just a stroll around the lake house here. 1 success. I'll take it. So I will move this 1 space and lose 1 time. And then I'm gonna walk again. Yeah, I'm gonna walk again. Rolling 2 dice. Hey, what? Where was this roll last game? I get to move up to 2 spaces. I'm gonna go right there. I'm not gonna take those victims with me because I want them to stay away from the killers. Great. Now I'm going to focus. Something I should have done last game early. Let's get that horror rating down. Rolling 2 dice. Come on, 2 successes, baby. Oh, I did burn 1 time. I forgot about that from that last walk. So I'm at 5 time currently. Oh, baby! Where were these dice rolls last game? So I get to lower that horror rating by 1, and I gain 2 time. I'm back up to 7. Let's do it again. I'll take the 1. That's fine. That is totally fine. That's 1 time, and that horror is all the way down to 1. I'm going to get to roll 3 dice in the future. I cannot use either of these cards right now, so that is the end of my action phase. With 6 time to spare, what a great way to start this game. That's great. Okay, so 6. I think what I want to do is buy... I don't think I want to splurge on anything too pricey yet. I think especially because I don't have a ton of cards right now, I think I'm better off focusing on some cheaper stuff. I'm going to get a guard for 2. That leaves me with 4. Something to defend myself this first round. I'm going to get a search for 2 because my plan is to get in there relatively quickly. Which unfortunately means that I need to spend my last 2 on a sprint because I spent both of my walks. So I'm going to do that. Okay. That goes back up to 6. These go into the tableau. And killer phase. The killers are not doing anything just yet, but we're resolving a terror card. Minor dark power amphetamines. At the beginning of the killer phase, the killer with the lowest health recovers 2 health. I did not talk about these minor dark powers because this is the first game I've had one come up. So I don't entirely know how they work. I gotta look that up. I believe... Where'd it go? Some terror cards are minor dark powers that will give the killer new temporary abilities. When drawn, place the card above the killer board. In addition to granting the killer an ability, minor dark powers also extend the health of the killer. Place the appropriate number of health markers on the minor dark power card in the indicated spaces. And I should keep reading because there's more information on that still. Whenever the final girl does damage to the killer, they must remove any health markers from minor dark powers before they can remove them from the killer's general health markers. If all health markers are removed from a minor dark power, it is discarded and the killer no longer has that ability. Well, honestly, if that card was gonna come up, better for it to come up before I've dealt any damage. Because at least they're not regaining health. If I can, there's normally they would be regaining health from this until I clear it, but there's no health for them to regain. So that could have been worse. Okay, moving on to the panic phase. No victims died, so no panic happens. Upkeep phase, there is no upkeep to do, and we move on to the action phase. And I still get to roll 3 dice on all my actions this turn. This is fantastic. So, kicking things off with that sprint card that I was so reluctant to purchase. This is going to be way overkill, because if I get 1 success, I'm still only moving 1 space. But 3 dice. 2 successes, I can move up to 3 spaces. I'm only going to move 1. Right up into the shed. And I'm going to stop there. Now, I need to look at this, let's see. Some spaces on the board have supply item symbols. While on one of these spaces, you may gain the corresponding... Oh, I also did lose a time from that sprint. You may gain the corresponding supply item card at the cost of time. Place it into a backpack slot. When discarding a supply item card, it goes back in the play area, face up, available to be gained again. So I don't need to spend a card to pick up a supply item. Also, crafted items. Crafting allows you to gain an available crafted item card by discarding the item cards and or supply item cards listed, as well as losing the required amount of time. When you gain a crafted item card, either place it into a hand or backpack slot. Same thing there. I don't need to spend a card to do that. So I don't think I'm going to spend many of these cards here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play this search card. The sprint card gets discarded. Search card. I get to roll 3 dice. I am searching in the shed. Wow, that sucks. I need one of those to be a success. So I'm going to discard my weak attack and short rest to turn one of those into a success. I get to take the top item card at my space at the cost of 1 time. That 1 item card I'm going to take is going to be that wooden bat. That goes straight to my equipped slot. That cost me 1 time. Then I'm going to spend another time picking up the nails that are in this shed, and then I'm going to spend 2 time turning those nails and that wooden bat into a nail bat, motherfucker. Hell yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have any friggin' cards left for my next round. I'm gonna stop there. I have 1 time left to shop with. With that 1 time, I'm gonna buy Close Call, obviously, and then I'm gonna take all of my starter cards from last round back. Time goes back up to 6, and all of the action cards I played this round go back to the tableau. All right, now we're cooking. Now, violence. All right. At least you have a nail bat now. Exactly. Okay. Oh, good. Danica's gonna nerf me for it. Thanks. Thanks. I know you were lurking. Did you hear how badly I lost the first game, Danica? Not even close. Wasn't even close. All right. Killer phase. They are not in a space where they would do any damage, so the finale power doesn't do anything. We move on to Terror card. There's blood everywhere! Active killer token moves down, so gray is going to go toward the closest potential victim or final girl. I believe that's just straight over to this space. And would deal damage, but doesn't make it that far. Oh, this is a much better start. Oh, and then horror level does go up by 1, unfortunately, so I'm back up to just 2 dice on my dice rolls. That is the killer phase. We would go to panic phase now, but there's nothing to panic about. Upkeep phase, there's nothing to upkeep, so we move on to another action phase. Well. Well. Unfortunately, I don't have any cards to deal damage with right now. So I think what I'm gonna do at the moment, all these killers are gonna come funneling towards me if they move at all. There's no, looking at that board, there's no victims closer to them. And I think Never-Ending Hilarity is pretty funny if a stream of killers just keeps running into this shed and getting hit in the face with a nail bat. I think that's horror comedy right there. So, I think my plan is to stay put. I am going to focus Classic slapstick. Exactly, Weeping Willow. I'm going to focus. I'm going to roll 2 dice to try and lower that horror level down. That sucked. I will discard... Yeah, I'm going to discard my 2 walk cards to turn one of those into a success, which will lower the horror level by 1, lower my time by 1. And then... I still got 5 time? Hell yeah, I'm going to focus again. I get to roll 3 dice with where the horror level is at right now. One I will take. 1 success lowers the time by 1, lowers that down to there. Excellent. All right. That's my action phase. I am now going to shop, and I think at this point, I'm gonna blow all 4 of those time points I've got on this retaliate card right here. I will then take back these 2 starter cards, reset that to 6, put these all back in the tableau. They're all 4 starter cards. And killer phase. All right, they are not in a space with anybody, so nothing happens yet. We're moving on to our terror card. Where are they coming from? Active killer moves toward the closest. That's gonna be us. What do you think is funnier, guys? If they try to hit me and I retaliate, or if they kill a victim? I think it's if they try to hit me, right? That's funnier. If I smack them in the face with a baseball bat with nails in it when they try to stab me. I think simple death is boring, but violence is fun. Yeah, exactly. So they're going to try and hit me. And that's going to be me retaliating against him. Let's go over here so we can see these dice a little closer. I'm rolling 3 dice. I don't need more than 1 success to reduce damage from the attack down to nothing. I deal 1 damage, except I've got a nail bat. So I deal 3 damage to this killer that just walked in here. I love it. 3 heart tokens coming off of the gray killer. Eat dicks. Okay. Then active killer goes up. If there are no victims on the board, ignore the rest of this card. Otherwise, place the active killer with the furthest victim. Oh, shit. That's got to be the garage. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the furthest killer. And then targeting that's dead. Bloodlust goes up by 1, which means horror level goes up by 2. Damn. Don't like that. Don't like that one bit. But all right. That's that. Moving on to our panic phase. Both of the victims that are in the shed are going to panic. We'll start with the one closest to me. It's going to move through the 3 space, which would take him there. On a 1 or a 2, they stay put. On a 3, 4, 5, or 6, they come out to that space. That's a 2, so that other one's going to stay put. All right. Retaliation would be funnier. Yeah, exactly. All right. Now, that's a panic phase. Moving to the upkeep phase. Oh, shit. I did something wrong. I forgot to reveal an event card at the start of the game. I'm going to do that during upkeep right now. We'd be revealing... Oh, hey, shit. Another thing that I did something wrong. I only dealt 1 damage to that guy because instead I killed the amphetamines. Put that in that discard pile. There we go. Now I'm doing things right.
Oopsie.
Okay. Upkeep, reveal the finale, if no tarot cards are left, rearrange items, no, we're good. Okay, now I'm going to reveal the event card that I was supposed to reveal at the beginning of the game. Crafting requires 1 less time. Man, I'd have had more cards in my hand right now if I'd have done that. What do you think, chat? I did 1 crafting. Do you feel like being generous? Should I give myself 1 more time to compensate for that? Because I'm probably not going to craft again this game. Or do I just say, you snooze, you lose? Let's take a poll. If I can type, please. You know what? No, I'm not going to take a poll. We're going to do rule of never-ending hilarity like we settled on earlier. Never-ending hilarity. It's funnier if I don't get to take the benefits of that. What I am going to do right now is start another prediction on how this is going to end. Same options, 5 minutes on the clock. Go for it right now. No, rule of never-ending hilarity. It's funnier if I don't, if I screwed up and I don't get that benefit. Okay. It is my turn. That's been discarded. I think I might just do a weak attack on this sumbitch. It's a risky play. I'm gonna do it. It's bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it plays out. Weak attack. I only get to roll 2 dice with where the horror currently is. So let's see how this goes. Hey, 1 success, I will take it. 1 damage to me and 1 damage to the Gray Killer. Oh, but I used my nail bat. So it's actually 3 damage to the Gray Killer. He's down to 2 health. Although one of them is a black health token, so who knows. Strategy though. I may leave him on his last health token if I can somehow manage to finagle that. Oh no, actually I won't have a choice because I'm dealing +2 damage with the nail bat. I may just kill him. We'll see. Alright. But that is my weak attack. I think that's all I'm gonna do for this round. Yeah, I could short rest, but I'm not gonna. No, I'm done. I still have 6 time to shop with. I'm gonna take back all my starter cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in my hand. And then I'm also going to purchase, with 6 time, improvise is pretty great. Until this action phase, with 2 successes, all 3s and 4s, from that point forward, become successes as well. Distraction's pretty great as well. You better kill them all or else everyone in chat is losing money. Okay. This game is off to a much better start than the last game. That is for damn sure. Or I could spend all 6 of my time on a critical blow, which wouldn't suck either. Decisions. No, I don't think I need a critical blow right now. I might buy a Furious Strike. Maybe a Furious Strike and... Gosh, I don't know. Let's see. I don't think I have any way to hurt him in my hand at the moment. And I want to be able to hurt him for sure. And if I don't buy the Furious Strike, or well, if I don't buy the critical blow and I go with the Furious Strike, I'll only have 2 left. What am I going to spend that 2 on? I guess I could pick up the other guard card, which might not be bad because more killers could come filing through the door into the shed. Or I could pick up that sprint card to go chase down the one that ran off. Or something. I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy the Furious Strike and a sprint. With my 6. That's going to be my planning phase. Retaliate and weak attack go back to the tableau. And killer phase. Alright. What's funnier, if the killer tries to hit me again? Probably. I think that's funnier. Killer's gonna try and smack me, the one that's in the room with me, but I'm gonna guard against it. I get to roll 2 dice, and it doesn't even matter, because even on a fail, I reduce by 1. He's only dealing 1 damage. I take no damage. Now we're going to reveal a terror card. Why are they doing this to us? If there are no victims on the board, there are. Active killer moves up. So the black killer is going to move towards the closest victim. That would be this one. And then deal a damage. So it's going to die. Bloodlust goes up by 1. That's unfortunate. Now they're going to start moving 2 spaces at a time. I don't like that. But it's not the worst thing ever. Cool. That is the killer phase. We go to a panic phase, and there is 1 victim in a space with a killer. This is unfortunate, because even if he panics, he's just going to run into another space with a killer. But let's see how this goes. He did panic out the door to the other killer. Okay. And horror level went up by 1 on that terror card. I missed that. Okay. Good stuff. That is the panic phase. We're into the upkeep phase. I got nothing to upkeep with, so it's time for another action. Let's see. I think it's time to smack this guy in the face with a baseball bat. That's what I think. Ooh. Actually, I'm gonna do this in a different order. I'm gonna focus first, because I want to get that horror level down. That's not good. What can I discard? I think I'll discard my 2 walks. I don't need them. I'm not going anywhere. We'll lower time by 1 and horror by 1. And then we're going to do it again. Hey, beautiful. Lower that horror level by 1 more. Lower that time by 1 more. Now we're into the 3-fer zone, which is where I want to be before I do Furious Strike. See, and this is why I wanted to do that first. I wanted to get that horror level down before I end my turn, because if I only get 1 success or less, this turn is over. So that's why I did that in the order I did. But I'm hoping for 2 successes so I can really smack him in the face. Honestly, it doesn't matter. With 2 damage, and I like 1 damage, 1 success, I'm dealing 3 damage because of my nail bat. 2 damage is all it takes to knock this guy out. This is single player, Sir Air Dude. I got 2 successes, so that is 2 damage, plus I lowered the horror level, and 2 more damage from my nail bat. So that is a whole lot of damage. I gotta read the rule book on how the final health token works on these 3 killers. There's something in here. Oh, right. When one of the killers still has its black final health token and loses its final health, and there is still at least 1 other killer on the board, the phase doesn't immediately end as it normally would. That health token's gone for sure. First, lay the quote-unquote dead killer on its side. Then, change the active killer and finish the current phase. After the phase is done, check the dead killer's black final health token. If the token is blank, the killer is truly dead and should be removed from the board. If the token has health, replenish the killer's health per the normal rules, yada yada, and stand him back up. Although each killer has its own final health token, you only get the +1 die bonus once, regardless of how many of the killers are down to their final health. Okay. So, I do get 1 additional die for the rest of this round. That guy is down. We will check his token at the end of the round. I think, let's see. Do I want to do anything else? I think I want to hold on to these cards for now, actually. Especially with where we're at on the horror track and everything. Yeah, no, I'm good. So that card is discarded, and we move on to planning. I have 4 time to shop with. Let's see what I want to buy. I think I want to buy Retaliate. Because I think the black killer is going to come through the door and get smacked in the face next. That's funny, right? So I'm going to spend my 4 on a Retaliate. I'm also going to pick up that weak attack card again, and then these all go back to the tableau. Great. All right. All killers activate, and, oh, unfortunately, this victim is dead. Boo! Boo! Hiss! Hey! We're rolling for a nerf. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Oh, this is the one we had earlier. Isn't it? I think. Move the active killer 2 spaces toward Kyle. Yeah, I love that, actually. Bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in for a bear hug with my nail bat. Great, okay. So, Black Killer is in the shed with me. Not so nerf after all. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. But he already did we already did this action, so now we're on to the terror card. Let's see what we got here. If you are not in the house, discard this card and draw the next tarot card. I am not in the house. I'm out in the shed. All right. We were passing by and thought we heard a scream. Place 2 new victims at the porch. Why? Why would you do that? We thought we heard a scream, so we thought we would come and see what you were screaming about. Horror level goes up and we get a new event. Let me zoom in on that so you can read it. Kick scooter. Where do I get one of those? Place the scooter token on the outdoor space closest to you. Well, that's right outside of this space. I gotta find that scooter token. When you are with the scooter, it moves with you, but it must be left on the last outdoor space if you move indoors. Once per action phase, you may use the scooter to move up to 2 spaces. Victims cannot follow you during this movement. That's cool. I gotta find... There he is. There's that scooter. Let me zoom in on that for you so you can see that little scooter token right there. Did this nerf just become a buff? No, not really. There's still a killer breathing down my neck. Okay. Sending that text to Caitlin. Great. Okay. And we move on. So, we are into the panic phase. There's no victims that need to panic right now, even though a victim did die this game. Move into the upkeep phase. This is the part where we reveal this token. Hey, it's blank! The Gray Killer has been moited. I moited him with my baseball bat with nails in it. It was great. I'm really proud of it. Cool. And we move on to the next action phase. I am gonna beat this dude's skull in with a weak attack. Rolling 3 dice. Give me 2 successes. Come on, baby. Papa needs a new pair of shoes. Hey, 2 successes. That means I'm dealing 1, 2, 3 damage to that black killer. That is 3 health tokens coming off. Oh, no, not red. Black. Pay attention, Kyle. Jeez. Sweet! Am I doing anything else? I don't think I am. I think I'm going to save my cards and my time to shop. Planning phase. Why is my time at 4? I didn't spend any time. Time should be at 6. That must have been from the last round and I forgot to move it back up. Alright. 6 to shop with. Well, it must be my birthday. I think I've still got a retaliate and a sprint. There's also a scooter waiting outside this shed for me. Oh man, I'm in business here. This is great. This is super great. I think with my 6 time, I'm gonna spend 4 on a Furious Strike. I'm gonna pick up all of oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Great, perfect. And a guard. No, a close call. I already have one. A guard. Just in case I gotta get defend being smacked twice. Because I already have a retaliate. Okay, that resets time back up to 6. This goes into the tableau. And it is the killer phase. All killers are going to try and attack if they're in a space with somebody. The black killer is in a space with me, but I'm gonna smack him in the head with a baseball bat instead. Retaliate. Oh, snake eyes. 3 1s. That sucks. Well, 1's a 2. But either way, 3 fails. Brutal. Alright, so I am taking 1 point of damage from that attack. Oh, I could do a guard after that point. Nah, I'll just take the damage for now. Okay. Let's go see what our terror card is for this round. It was wearing a mask. Horror level goes up by 1. That's unfortunate because that puts us back into the 2 dice range. If there are no victims on the board, discard. There are victims. Otherwise, active killer goes down 1, which means it's red. They move toward the nearest victim, which would be the 2 that showed up on the porch. 2 spaces, according to the current bloodlust, and then deal 1 damage, so 1 of those dies. That moves up. They're now starting to deal 2 damage per attack, and horror level goes up to 3. Bad news bears. Okay, well, that round could have gone a little better, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. I'm going to... Oh, and we're moving into panic phase. That one on the porch is going to panic. And move to the driveway. And then... upkeep phase. There is nothing to upkeep. New action phase. I'm going to start by focusing, because clearly managing that horror meter is crucial. I'm only rolling 2 dice on this at the moment. Oof! Oofta boofta. What can I discard? My 2 walks. I don't need them. I'm not going anywhere yet. Let's lower that horror meter by 1, lower the time by 1, and then let's do it again. Hey, 1 success, I'll take it. Let's get that horror meter back down into the green, so I can now roll 3 dice on my actions. I'm gonna do a Furious Strike against this sumbitch in the room with me. Let's see what happens. Hopefully I roll better than I did on that Retaliate. Oh man, that could have been better. I would love to turn one of those into a... No, you know what? Hell with it. I'm going to spend a close call. Reroll all of those for 2 time. Watch. Watch, it's all fails now. Even worse. 2 successes! Love to see it. That is 2 plus 2 damage to him for a total of 4. That will knock him right the fuck out. And I also lower the horror meter by 1 from that Furious Strike. What a great turn that was. I could keep going. Yeah, why the hell not? I'm gonna sprint. I'm gonna put this up here where you can see it and roll right there. Ooh! Wah wah. I could... Could discard these 2 cards and still move. up to 2 spaces plus 2 from that scooter. And that way I'd still have one time to shop with is not enough to do any good, though. Maybe... Oh, poopy doops. I need to reread that scooter thing. It needs to be over here. Place the scooter token on the other. Let's see. When you are with the scooter, it moves with you, but it must be left on the last outdoor space if you move indoors. Once per action phase, you may use the scooter to move up to 2 spaces. Except I think my turn is done at this stage. But I don't want to discard these 2 cards. Okay, so I'm going to take the fail. I'm going to do this option, because my turn's done either way. I lose 2 time, I lose 1 health, and I move 1 space out here. Okay. I have no time to shop with, unfortunately. So all I can do is pick up this 1 weak attack card out of the tableau. This gets reset to 6. All of these cards that got played that round, which was a lot, get added back to the tableau. Close call, Furious Strike, and Sprint. Boo! Okay, cool. That is my action and planning phase. We're moving into the killer phase. Red is the only killer still standing. Is not in a space with anybody, so we don't activate that power. We don't even have their dark power unlocked yet. I'm crushing it this game. Okay. What happened while we were gone? Place 3 new victims at the boathouse. And we draw an event card. I feel like the event cards tend to be pretty beneficial most of the time, so I don't mind that. Let's see what we got. Home Security. Keep this card until you use it. It can be activated during any action phase when there are no enemies in the house. When activated, enemies are not allowed to enter the house. When an enemy tries to enter the house, place a token on this card and they don't move. The alarm is disabled when there are 3 tokens on this card, or when you or a victim enter or leave the house. Oh, cool. I might as well activate that next action phase. If I still can. I think I will be able to. Okay, that's the killer phase. Panic phase, nothing happens. We're into upkeep. Let's see if the black killer is actually dead. I want to move into this board. Yeah. 2 health tokens back. Back from the dead, the killer is not yet gone. Bummer. Oh, I was supposed to roll an extra die on that sprint. And I did get a success with that extra die. That would have been move up to 2 spaces and not lose. Yeah, we're going to retroactively. I wouldn't have lost 2 health. I wouldn't have lost 2 time. I'm going to miss out on the shopping from that, but that's okay. And then I'm going to move an extra space plus 2. I think I ended up in the garage thanks to that scooter. But Black Killer is now standing over on the shed. Yeah, I was supposed to roll an extra die because of that that token being the last one in his health bar. Okay, now I'm in the garage. where there's a fireplace poker that is nowhere near as good as my nail bat. Cool. All right. My turn. There's not a lot I can do here. I think all I'm going to do at the moment... Honestly, it's unfortunate that I didn't stick around to make sure that guy was actually dead. But it's all right. That is definitely what I would have done if I had been paying attention. I'm going to take a short rest. I'm going to roll 3 dice. One success will get me a health back at the cost of 1 time. And I think that's it for me this round. Planning phase with 5 time to shop with. What am I buying? Well, all of these. My 2 walks and my 2 focuses. But with 5, I think I want to pick up Retaliate and Close Call. Or do I want to do Furious Strike and Close Call? Because I do still have a guard. Yeah, I'm going to do Furious Strike and Close Call. That way I know I can smack the shit out of this red killer next turn. Okay. Great. That is my turn. This goes back there. That goes back up to 6. And killer phase. All killers. Yeah, nobody's in a space where they're gonna do anything. So we're gonna resolve our next terror card. Woo! Minor Dark Power Coordinated Attack. At the end of each killer phase, resolve the following effect. Move the active killer token up 1. Target the closest final girl or victim. Move and attack. I don't love that. Unless I am the closest. Oh, I forgot to activate my home security. Oops. But that is... Oh, and then that gets resolved right now. So this goes up to black. He's going to target the closest... Oh, shit. Oh, do I let him go into the house? What's our rule of thumb tonight on ambiguity is never-ending hilarity. Is it funnier if he goes away from me over to the lakefront, meaning that I'm going to have to chase him down at some point? Or is it funnier if he goes into the house and then I can't activate my home security card? Chat. What do you think? The black guy always dies first in a horror movie. He's not dead, and he wasn't first. You feel like the latter is funnier if he goes into the house? Okay. So, that would be... I want you to chase him on your scooter with your bat. Oh! Actually, yeah, now that I have that visual image, I think Rina Hayashi's right. I think that is funnier. If I have to chase him down on a scooter. I don't know if I will have to do that, though. Because if I'm going for red next, and he goes over to the lakefront, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, plus 2. Yeah, no. I don't think I will end up using the scooter to chase him down. Alright, we're going to stick with the plan if he goes into the house. So he moves 2, deals 2 damage in 1 attack, so one of these guys is dead. That will increase the bloodlust and thus unlock their dark power. Hey, it's the same one as last game. How about that? Roll a die at the start of each upkeep phase. If the result is greater than the number of killers, increase bloodlust. Well, alright. It's panic time. This victim that's in the bedroom right next to the one that just got murdered is gonna panic. 4. That goes right out the door the killer just came in through. And then we roll we're in upkeep. So we roll to see if this is 3 or higher. It's bad for me. It's a 2. Okay. Moving on to the next action phase. Let's see, what am I doing? I don't need to focus. The horror meter's all the way down at the bottom right now, which is great. I'm going to walk calmly to the driveway right now. I'm just going to put this up here where you can see it so I can roll dice right there and where you can see everything. I'm rolling 3 dice. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Fuck this, I'm doing a close call and re-rolling all of those. Oh, that doesn't go there. One success is still better than having to burn 2 cards to do that. Move up to 1 space. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to rescue this survivor. This victim. It's not Dead by Daylight. It did cost me 1 time. Let's see. Ooh. I think I'm going to take the guard reaction. No, I'm going to take a health. For sure. Okay. And then, that's gone. I think I'm going to walk again. Calmly walk my way over to the red killer. Rolling 3 dice for that walk. Just need 1. Just need 1 success. 1 success will do. That was close. I'm going to move right over here. That card gets discarded. And then I'm going to Furious Strike. Oh, and I did lose a time from that last one. Cool. Yeah. No, poopy dupes. I gotta discard 2 just to get 1 success here. Well, I'm gonna discard my 2 focuses because they're not helping me anyway. Yeah. Discarding my 2 focuses to turn that into a success. That's 1 plus 2 damage, and the horror meter goes down, so time goes up by 1 because it's at the bottom anyway. But my action phase is done at this point. 3 damage to the red killer. This feels a lot more like Die Hard than a horror movie right now. I'm feeling like a badass. Now I have a nail bat. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, that gets discarded, and now I get to shop with 5 time on my side. I'm gonna buy a Retaliate for 4, and a Close Call for 1. And also that short rest. Home Alone, but with scooters and victims. Yeah, actually. Definitely. Alright, so that's all my time. We're now resetting here. I'm going to put this back in the tableau. Everything that got spent this round. Great. Moving on to... Oh, shoot. This is gone. Those move back over here. I keep forgetting about those damn minor dark powers. Alright, there we go. Now, red is going to try to hit me because I'm in a room, or in the same space as them, but I'm going to retaliate. Damn it, you gotta be shitting me. 3 partials? What do I have? I'm gonna close call it. Just give me 1. I mean, 2 would be great. 2 would have been great! Fuck. I'm gonna discard my weak attack and my short rest to turn one of those into a success. I reduce damage all the way down to nothing because it's only coming in at 2, and I deal 3 damage back. That sucked. A lot. A lot. Because this next turn is going to be completely worthless now. Okay, Terror card now being resolved. Ooh, and it's the last one. We're not going to make it through the night! The active killer, which is the black one currently, targets the closest, which I think is going to be the people in the family room. Yeah, definitely. Wait, no, sorry. It's going to be this one outside. That is the closest. And is going to kill that guy, which is going to raise the bloodlust, and that's going to raise the horror meter. Then, active killer moves up to be the red. Red is targeting me, and is going to try and hit me. I'm going to play a guard card on that. I did get 1 success, so I'm reducing all of that damage by 2, which means it's down to 0. I don't take any damage. That was my last action card. And at the end of that terror card, horror goes up by 1. Well, that's not good. Okay. And that is the killer phase. We're into the victim, the panic phase. Nobody panics because there's nobody in a space with a killer. So we move on to the upkeep phase. No remorse triggers. That is not greater than the number of killers still standing, so bloodlust does not increase. And, but the finale card does get revealed because we are out of terror cards. Now, every killer phase, the active killer is going to move twice, targeting the closest target. So that's 4 spaces at the current space on the spot on the bloodlust. Then they're going to attack that person once, and then active killer is going to move up to the next potential killer. But each attack deals 1 additional damage now. That's not good. That's not good at all. Oh boy. Okay. That is upkeep phase done. Now we move into the action phase. I have no cards left. I spent them all. So we move into the planning phase. I'm going to buy these for sure. I'm going to buy... I think I'm going to buy Furious Strike and Guard. I think that makes the most sense with my 6. All right, these go back to the tableau. And killer phase. Active killer at the moment is red. She is going to target me and try to hit me for 3 points of damage at present. I am going to guard against that. I'm only rolling 2 dice with horror where it is right now. Oof. 1 success, reduces by 2. I still take 1 damage. And then active killer changes to black. Panic, nobody panics. We roll a die at the start of upkeep to see if bloodlust increases. It does not. Because that was a 1. That hasn't triggered once yet, which is really lucky for me. Okay. Now. Action phase. I'm going to start with a focus. Oh, this is discarded. Starting with a focus. I'd really like to get that horror level back down to where I'm rolling 3 dice again. Damn. I got to discard 2 to do it. I'll discard... I'll discard my other focus and 1 walk to get it down there. And I do lose 1 time. Okay. Now, I'm going to Furious Strike. I get to roll 3 dice. Come on. No whammies. No whammies, baby. Yes! That's a thing of beauty. That is 4 damage coming to your face. And the horror meter goes down by 1. 4 damage is enough to knock that one on their ass. And I still have cards left, or a card left. I'm going to walk into this house. Whoops. I get to roll 4 dice on this walk. One success. I'll move 1 space into the foyer. And discard that card. And then... I am not going to trigger home security. I want them coming to me. I want them coming after me. All right. That walk did cost me a time. Just 1 time. So I'm at 4. I'm going to buy a Retaliate for all of that 4, and then I'm going to spend... and then I'm just going to pick up the 2 starter cards that were left. All right. So ends my planning phase. Let's restock all of these. That music is very spooky. Very spoopy. Okay. Now. Killer phase. Black activates, targeting the nearest. Deals 3 damage to one of these guys. They're dead. Bloodlust goes up by 1. Active killer does not move, actually, because red is down. Now, panic phase. That one guy that's at the lakefront is going to move this way. Hey-yo, we're going to roll for a nerf. We'll do it right now. We did it in the middle of a phase last time. We'll do it now. 6. Kyle starts the next 2 rounds with -1 time. Oh! Ouchies. Ouchies. That sucks. Okay. Let me make sure I mark that because I will forget. Please? There we go. Okay. Okay. That is the killer phase done, the panic phase done, upkeep phase. We're gonna roll. Well, no, sorry, we're gonna resolve whether the red killer is dead or not first. I think that happens now. Does it happen at the start of upkeep? Oh, after the phase is done, check the... Oh, I've been doing it at upkeep. All right, so we do it now. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, dead! So we're down to 1 killer. Down to 1 killer. Which means, on this no remorse roll, anything other than a 1, bloodlust goes up. Bloodlust goes up. All right. Damn, I wish I had that scooter to chase this fucker down. Oh, especially because I don't have any... I don't have a way to move this turn. Shit! I got nothing I can do. And all he's gonna do is just go mow down victims while I stand in this house and twiddle my thumbs. Alright, we're moving straight into planning phase because I have nothing I can do as an action except activate home security, which serves absolutely no purpose at this point. So I will move to shopping. I have 5 time to shop with because you guys screwed me on that nerf. I'm gonna buy all of these starter cards. I'm gonna buy... Oh, man. He's only got 2 health. So I really only need to weak attack him to get it. Okay, I'm gonna buy a sprint for 2. I'm gonna buy the other sprint for 2. I'm gonna buy a close call for 1. Do I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? I do. Great. All right. Reset that time to 5 because, again, I'm screwed on the nerfs. And it's killer phase. Killer is going to target the closest victim or final girl. That would be this one. Kills this victim. That advances. That means this advances to back into bad news bears territory for me. And then it is panic phase. There's nothing to panic. Upkeep phase. I mean, it kind of doesn't matter if bloodlust goes up at this point, because now it's at the top, and the only thing that happens if it goes up from there is you discard terror cards, and those are all gone. So that's done. No remorse isn't going to matter anymore. Cool. Okay. That is upkeep phase. We're into action phase again. And I am going to start with a focus. I want to get that back down into the territory where, and horror level will not go up again at this point. 1 success, I will take it. Horror level goes down, so I'm no longer concerned with my horror level. I get to roll 3 dice from here to the finish line. Great. Now, I think I'm gonna sprint back out of the house. 2 successes. I get to move 3 spaces at the cost of 1 time. 1, 2, 3. Hi! Remember me? It's your old pal, Nailbat. Weak attack. That's all I need to finish you off, you son of a bitch. 3 dice coming your way in the shape of a bat with a bunch of nails sticking out of it. You know what? I only need to turn one of those into a success. I will discard my walk and my other walk. 1 success becomes 1, 2, 3 damage, and he's only got 2 health. He's out of there. 1 victory and 1 crushing defeat. And that was a pretty easy victory. I still had 5 health. Not even close. Again. All right, that was 2 games of Final Girl tonight. Chat, I'm curious to see what you guys think. So go ahead and give me your thoughts there in the chat. How do you feel about Final Girl? I'm gonna talk for a minute while you guys are collecting your thoughts. This game swings wildly. I've now played it 3 times, and it's been the same. Now, to be fair, it's been the same modules every time I've played it. I have only played the Intruders at Wingard Cottage. This is now the 2nd time I've played with Ginny as my final girl, and I played with what's the other final girl in this set? Ava, I think is her name. I played with her once. I won with Ava the first time I tried. I got absolutely demolished in the first game tonight as Ginny. There's Ava. Then just smoked them in that game, the second game as Ginny tonight. So, I've played this set of stuff for Final Girl to death at this point. The major selling point of this whole system is the fact that it is a system. It's modular. You can pick up. Oh, and something I should show off that I think is really cool about this game. These game boards are the covers for the box for that feature. So this just snaps right on there. It's got little magnets to hold it into place. I think that's really clever. And then even though like you take it off, it's just a cover. This stuff all still stays in there because you've got a nice little plastic lock thing that locks that into place. You got the killer on one side, and you've got the location on the other side. For every one of these feature film modules, you do have to have the core box as well in order to play. This runs you $20. Each feature film will run you another $20. So it's a $40 solo game to play it at a minimum. People are absolutely raving about this game, and I have only played this particular feature film. You can mix and match too. You can load mix a killer from one feature film with a location from another, and that'll change up what terror cards you're dealing with depending on the location and the killer. Events come from the location, items come from the location, and then there's different dark powers and different finale cards for the killers, depending on which killer you're playing with. There's also special items that you can mix in once you have won with one of the final girls. I didn't bother to do this, but I want to pull this out to show it off. These, at least from Season 2, I don't know if they did this with Season 1. There's these little envelopes that say, for Ginny's eyes only, or for Ava's eyes only. Do not open until you have survived a game with Ginny. Then you can open this up, and it's got a little rule thing for Ginny's sawed-off shotgun. This item may only be used when Ginny is chosen as the final girl. So if after you've beaten the game with Ginny, you can shuffle this in to your item deck for future games when you play with Ginny again to have access to this specific weapon in other games. So there's a little bit of replay value there. I do think there's a lot going on with this game that I feel like, at least on the couple games that I've won it, I feel like there's a whole lot going on that is not, that feels superfluous. I barely go after items. I went after one item in this game tonight because just the RNG on it just looked like, oh, look at that. I can automatically go craft a badass nail bat and just demolish these killers with that one item. But as soon as I got that nail bat, I didn't care about any other items. So it was like instantaneous, done. When I played by myself, like not on stream, the first game, I started out thinking I was going to go after items, and then every item I found was worthless, so I just punched them to death, and I won. The RNG swings are massive because this game that I just won and the one that I won the other night by myself, there weren't a lot of victims on the board. So the killers didn't have a lot of opportunities to crank up this bloodlust meter and thus crank up the horror meter. That game that I played, the first game I played tonight, there were victims all over the map at the start of the game, and that meant they cranked up the bloodlust and the horror very quickly, and this is a game where that once it starts spiraling out of control, there's no getting it back. You're just done. So that is, I think, my one criticism of this game is just how wildly it swings in terms of the difficulty curve. Just based on the RNG, like the randomness. I feel like they probably could have done a little bit better job of balancing those setup cards. Because the setup is where you're determining where all of the victims start on the board. There were way more victims at the start of the game, my first game tonight, and that swung things wildly in another direction compared to the second game tonight. Give us our points. Sure, all right, I'll do that. And then I want to go scroll through the chat and see what you guys have to say about this game. Because, yeah, you guys all picked that I was going to crush the killers that game, and you were right. So congratulations. Okay. Scrolling up. New game plus weapons. Yeah, exactly. It looked cool, but there were times it would make me really nervous, and gosh, it'd be hard not to miss a step. You know, I would say that this is not a game that is for the faint of heart. Like, this is a solo game that I think you need to be relatively experienced at playing board games to tackle this one. I think if you're a relatively new board gamer, this is gonna be there's enough fiddliness to it that you might struggle a little bit. So I think that's a fair criticism, that it's easy to miss stuff. Even somebody who's played a ton of board games, there were a lot of times tonight where I was like, oh right, I forgot to do that. Let me do that really quick. And I punished myself for it a couple times, and I also did myself a favor as a result of it a couple times. That's easy to do. One thing that I think is cool about this, though, I feel like, I haven't done it, but I feel like you could play this game with a significant other or with a couple of friends, as long as you're relatively like-minded, as a co-op game, and just kind of work your way through it collectively. I don't think you necessarily need to play it as a strictly solo game. It is a solo game, and it is designed to be played solo, and you absolutely can play it solo. I think if you played it with a friend or something, or maybe with a significant other, I think it could still be a lot of fun. I think this would work as like a couples game or something. Rina Hayashi says it's like you're the player character and the GM at the same time. Yeah, very true. I may have gotten bingo. Did we get the same nerf in one game, or was the first one in the first game? Can't remember. First game had the same nerf twice. Yeah, I believe that I will give you that bingo item tonight for sure. Scrolling down, let's see. I love that, the replay value without having to buy another edition. Yeah, with the New Game Plus weapons. For sure. I played this 3 times, and it was, while the difficulty swung wildly from one game to the next, it was a very different game every time I played it, even with just the same feature film components. So I think I think there's a lot of replay value in it, even if you're not adding the additional modules. Let's see. We knew you'd pull through. That'd be chill too. Like, make choices together. Yeah. To play it as a co-op game, bonding exercise for sure. Right. The setup alone would definitely put me off from solo play. It looks like so many moving parts. But I do think cooperative strategizing would be a lot of fun on this one. Yeah, I almost feel like it would be better with 2 or 3 people collectively making the choices, because you can keep each other honest on like, oh hey, don't forget we need to do this, don't forget we need to do that, and you can also collaboratively try and come up with a plan and everything, as long as you're all relatively easygoing, like-minded people. If you're playing with somebody who's like really stuck in their ways, that's not going to work on this type of co-op game. I think that's kind of any co-op board game, but something worth considering. Agreed, especially when choosing ambiguity, it'd be good to run that by another person. Yeah, because I do love that concept in this rule book, the ambiguity rule. For those who are just watching this, just the review on this game on YouTube later, there's a rule in the rule book towards the end here about game ambiguity, because this whole system is modular, and you can buy multiple feature film modules that give you different options for different killers and different locations and different final girls to play as. That means that there's a whole lot of different moving parts to this, like different pieces that you put together to form a puzzle of a board game. There's a whole lot of different interactions that are not accounted for in the rule book, or rule books, plural, since there's a rule book for each individual killer and location, rule sheet really, and the core game rule book. But there's a little rule about game ambiguity where it's just like, listen, because of the fact that there's going to be a ton of stuff that isn't accounted for in the rule book, if there's ever ambiguity, you get 3 choices for how to resolve that. Either the rule of infinite evil, resolve it in such a way that results in the worst outcome for you. The rule of abject realism, resolve it in the way that results in the most realistic or thematic outcome. Or the rule of never-ending hilarity, resolve it in the way that results in the funniest outcome. And the rulebook recommends you choose one of those at the start of your game, so that anytime any ambiguous situations come up, you bear in mind what's going to be the worst outcome for me, or what's going to be the most realistic outcome, or what's going to be the funniest, which I think it's a really clever thing to include in the rule book. I think there's, generally speaking, when I play board games that don't have that rule specified, I go for the abject realism, what makes the most sense logically, or what makes the most sense mechanically. But I think that's a really cool thing to include in the rule book. I do love the modular concept for a system. $40 is a totally reasonable entry-level price for a game, and then to be able to add on for $20 a pop to give yourself, another killer and another location and 2 more final girls to choose from. That's basically a whole new game for every $20, plus the ability to mix and match with everything you already have. So I think that's really cool. I think the system is very clever. I think the theme is great. I think all of the components are of a great quality. I love this use, like just really maximizing the use of components, being able to just peel off a piece of the box and that's part of your game board. I love all of that. I think it's a very clever solo game. I don't play a lot of solo board games, and this definitely works as a solo board game. My one critique of this game is how wildly the difficulty swings from one game to the next. So I think the one thing that I might say is if you're thinking about checking out Final Girl and trying something, first off, I would go for one of the season 1 feature films to start with. I would not start with the Intruders at Wingard Cottage like I did. I think I would start with the Butcher at Camp whatever it's called. Not Crystal Lake. It looks like the one that's like Friday the 13th. That one, from what I have now learned since purchasing this, that one does not add any additional mechanics. So the extra rule sheets for the location and the killer just say there's nothing special, meaning you only need to worry about the core rule book and nothing else. I think I would start with something like that, one of the simpler feature film modules. That's the first note I would have. And then the second note I would have is play it more than once. If you play it once and you feel like it was too easy, try again, see what happens on the second game. If you play it once and you get absolutely demolished, try it again and see what happens on the second game. Because as I have found in my 3 plays of this, that difficulty just swings crazily. But it's a really fun, really interesting system, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else comes from Final Girl. It's wildly popular, so it's not going away anytime soon. I'm gonna take us back over to the tavern. All right, chat. I know this was a little bit of an unusual board and barrel. It's a weeknight. It's just me. Instead of me and Dustin and Eric and 1 to 3 guests. But this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys had fun joining me this evening. I definitely did. Steel Neko says the ambiguity leads to wild swings in gameplay. It's not even so much the ambiguity rules, it's the crazy randomness in the setup and the terror cards and the events and the dark powers and the finale powers. All of that stuff, like there's so much, and honestly, the item card deals. There's so much randomness to it, and I don't think they did a good enough job of balancing that randomness to make it even out. That's just my thoughts on it. The almost betrayal at House on the Hill level of randomness is specifically betrayal like first edition randomness, because I feel like second edition was still pretty random, but Baldur's Gate and I think Legacy, although I haven't played it, and the third edition, they really did a lot to compensate for the randomness in Betrayal. So they rectified a lot of those problems. But yeah, first and second edition Betrayal, yes, that level of randomness is what I feel like you deal with in Final Girl. Excellent way to spend an evening. This feels very like a spooky season, bad weather evening game. Yeah, I should have saved it for October, honestly. Steel Neko says, congrats on being Harry Potter again. Oh, thank you. I've been playing that role for, in that particular game for like 5 years now. It's been out in China only, but it's out now. I can't remember what the actual title of it is. Harry Potter something something. It's a mobile game. You can pick it up on, you can find it on, I tweeted about it earlier today if you're curious. Weeping Willow says, I had a ton of fun. This was great background noise while I was working on an embroidery project. Plus, now you got me interested in this game. Had to study halfway through, but yeah, just being able to hear your strategizing as you played was fun. Thanks, Hangry Dino. Sir Airdude says, speaking of spooky board games, have you heard of Monster Slaughter? I have not. but I'm going to look into it now. All right, that is going to do it for this week's Board and Barrel that we moved from Sunday for me to play by myself tonight, since I couldn't do it Sunday. Next Sunday, this show is normally live every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That is going to be the case for the next while. I have no Sunday plans coming up for a good long while, so we're going to keep our Sunday schedule going forward for the next few months. This coming Sunday, we are playing a game called Change My Mind, and I still need to wrangle up a couple more guests. I have feelers out with a couple people. I'm waiting to hear back from them before I invite anybody else, because I only have room at this table for 6 people. But Josh Saleh, I don't know how to say his last name, is one of the developers of this party game called Change My Mind. He is going to be here teaching us how to play the game and demonstrating it, and we're going to have a lot of fun this coming Sunday. So please tune in to that. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me on your Tuesday night, and I will see you Sunday night. Bye-bye, everybody!